I'm Foster Thomas.
I'm Dasha.
I'm Josh the drummer.
I'm Pierre Casserin.
I'm Ryan Osten.
We're Musical Dropout.
This is Baby Jake.
I'm Kid Quill.
I'm Carter Cruz.
I'm Sugar Pit.
I am Christian Gates.
I'm Hayden.
I am Carly Hansen.
I'm Medium Build.
I'm Billy. I'm Anthony Russo.
I'm Eric Krasno.
I'm Bradley, and this is an experiment. Sugar Pit, we're back.
Brad,
We did
good
it.
to be here. We're
We did
back
it, man.
again.
It's been a while.
It has been a while,
How long's it been? Like almost a year, probably?
maybe more than a year.
That's crazy.
Happy to
Holy
be
fuck.
back.
Happy to have you back, dude. I've been keeping up on all the videos and socials and tour, and obviously I'm a fan of the music. So it's been fucking cool to see, and the album, just everything, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
You running out naked on stage.
Yeah.
That was the most you shit I've ever seen.
I love doing that.
So let's start it like this. Let's pour some tequila.
Pour it up. Let's do it.
You want a big shot? You want a small shot? You want neither?
Yeah, big shot. Give me a good one.
And that's what I'm talking about.
What the hell? It's
You know,
perfect.
we can always pour more.
Thank you, my friends.
Oh, down go the Zins.
Down go the Zins. Cheers
Cheers, dude. To
Hell
the
yeah.
new album and to doing it.
to the rock star lifestyle.
Yeah, baby. Nice.
Very nice.
Kind of nice. It's Casadores. It's not great, but it's could be worse, I guess.
Tastes fancy to me.
I'll talk better about them if they finally sponsor me. But so far they haven't answered my DMs. So
I only buy like really cheap alcohol when I buy it. So
that's what this is. It was like $19.
nice.
So it was cheap enough.
It tastes right to me.
Yeah. I don't drink enough to know the difference anyways.
Me neither.
So you just got back from tour with Fiddler.
That's right.
Tell me about it.
I mean, it was a dream, dude. It was fucking sick. It was, I don't even know where to start. I mean, every single show that we played, I mean, before that, the biggest crowd I had played to was maybe, 300 people, 350 or something. And then like a lot of these shows were like 700-800, some were like 1,000. I think we played a couple like 1,200 cap rooms, and
Holy shit.
some of them were sold out. It's hard to tell because obviously people kind of trickle in more for Fiddler, and but anyway, every show was like the biggest show we've ever played. So it was
Yeah.
like I felt so good on those stages too, like having more people watching me.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it, man. I loved it, and yeah, it was Fiddler's super nice guys, really good, awesome live show, and just really nice guys, and we were in an RV. That was fucking cool.
Damn, that's so much better than like going in a transit van or whatever and having to try to figure out where to sleep and shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I had like a little bunk on the RV that we'd basically just like, drive all night and try and sleep while we drive, and
Mhm.
wake up 1 in the afternoon and get ready for the show and stuff. And
Who was driving?
we had a tour manager named Hunter. Shout out Hunter, the tour manager
Damn, that's nice.
who drove it all himself, and yeah, he was awesome. It was fucking, yeah, I don't even know. The RV was funny. It stank like fucking shit
Yeah, I'm sure.
for like 2 weeks. No, like shit, like human shit. Like it smelled so bad, and we were trying to figure out there was this riff in the van. We were like, did somebody shit in the RV? Like we said not to shit in the RV. Like what the fuck is going on? Everybody was kind of like eyeing each other, like
It was Noah.
who stank up this fucking thing. And so we were like, okay, well, empty the septic tank. We stopped at a Love's. We like watched these YouTube tutorials how to empty the shit out of an RV, and we figured it out. And we're like, okay, we emptied the septic tank. Like, why does it still smell like shit? Because it did. We're like, oh my God, it's still here. And it got to the point where it was like people were like retching on board. Like it was
Oh, it was that bad.
overwhelming. Like it smelled like shit, but like beyond shit.
Oh,
It had been like festering. So later on, we discovered that what the septic tank that we had emptied was not the one.
You probably
There was a second sleeper septic tank that, unbeknownst to us, was full of the previous renters'
Oh, no.
shit and piss that had just been like cooking up.
So you probably empty like the gray tank, and then there's also the black tank or whatever they call
Now
it.
you're talking RV.
Yeah, I tried to live in one for a little bit.
Oh,
And
that's right. I remember you were telling me.
yeah, I was
before.
getting into it, but I didn't end up going through with it. But I watched a few YouTube videos. Damn, that fucking sucks. But I feel like that also kind of just that's like a first tour
It
vibe.
was awesome. It was all awesome.
So you did how many shows?
17 shows.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool, like just kind of like getting into a rhythm, like getting into a routine of sorts. Like it kind of feeling like a job a little bit.
Yeah.
Like in the coolest job ever. Like of just like you wake up, you've kind of got a schedule. I don't know. You wake up around noon, 1, get your shit ready, try and find a shower, load in at 5, play this show. Every night's a little different. Like, oh, what's the green room gonna be like? What's the venue gonna be like? What's the crowd gonna be like? Seeing every city, yeah, it was so cool, man.
What was your favorite city you played
You
/ venue?
know what was surprisingly a really awesome crowd was Toronto. Toronto threw down.
I've heard that.
It was awesome.
Damn.
Philly was awesome. I used to live in Philly for a bit, so it was cool. My grandma came. My whole family, like my aunts and uncles, my grandma came to the Chicago show.
Man.
That was awesome.
Was it just a wild feeling? Because I remember our other conversations, and I remember the conversations we had off camera. You knew we were going to be here eventually at this point, and you know you're going to be, somebody's going to be excited to open for you eventually, and it's going to keep growing. So there was always the confidence in it and the understanding that this is what you're supposed to do and that you're not only great at it, but you love it. Was there like an initial feeling like the first time on stage in front of a big room or 5 shows in where you looked around and you just go, holy fuck, I did it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely not so much I did it, but like, wow, I'm doing it. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
But like where you're at right now, people would give an arm and a leg for in general. I mean, the fact when you were first on the podcast, you had, you know, a nice little following on social media, but it wasn't what it is now. And you didn't have the viral videos yet. And you didn't have so many of the pieces that you were working on and we were talking about in real time. And then you started doing it. And then you find yourself on tour with a band that I don't know about you, but I definitely grew up listening to.
yeah, same.
And it's for you. It's not like you're on tour playing drums or guitar or whatever for anybody else, which is amazing. But people are dancing to Sugar Pit. They're singing to Sugar
Yeah.
Pit.
The craziest part, I think the part that is just like playing a show in the first couple songs. You know, like there was always maybe a couple people who came to see me, but largely it was for Fiddler, obviously.
Yeah.
And just every night, the first couple of songs, people are kind of like, okay, like, you know, who's this? This is interesting. And then kind of just watching by the end of the set, just watching the cheers grow louder and being like,
Yeah.
I'm winning them over. Like, oh my God, I'm like convincing them to like me, like in real time right now. And that just soaking that in and like, I don't know, it feels so much more real on the road too. Like, I don't know, like it's one thing to be like releasing songs on the internet and making content on the internet and like you see people's comments, like it's awesome. But like, I don't know, just seeing it in real life and like convincing or not convince, just getting someone's interest and attention on you just by using your voice and just playing the guitar in front of them.
Yeah.
In real life, it's like real life fucking person, real life show. And I don't know. It's just so cool, man.
And you don't have this platform to rely on that
It's not this middleman. Yeah.
Yeah. And like on social media, you have a chance every single day, every single post to try to win over a new person. You're in this real live situation where there's people there and they're already there. So you either are going to disappoint them or you're going to get them on board.
Yeah, totally. There's no, because I feel like there's no algorithm being like maybe this, regardless of the quality of the post, like maybe the algorithm will show it to someone or maybe it won't. There's always this like out of control aspect. But with a live show, it's like, I feel like I'm like doing a sales pitch or something when I play a show and it's totally within your power to win them over or not. Yeah.
Was there any part of you that was wondering, because you're a person who likes to be bold and live on the edge and be loud and exciting and I feel like, did you feel like there was a responsibility to not try to be outshining the band that's after you?
No. I went as hard as there was some points where I was like, I kind of feel like, yeah, maybe I'm drawing a little bit too much attention to myself as an opener, but I didn't. I sent it every night. Yeah.
And they were stoked about that? Like,
I don't know.
Did you have a good relationship with them, or was it very separate?
We were starting to get there by the end of the tour.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because you're traveling separately too.
We're traveling separately. It was a lot of just kind of talking to each other in passing, like, hey, nice set. That was cool. But there wasn't this, we're not like going out to dinner with each other or anything like that.
I mean, they've also, this is not, I mean, I'm sure it's very exciting for them, but the excitement isn't new like it is for you.
Yeah, right.
Like there's going to be a good bit of time from now on where the rooms are going to grow and you're going to have new experiences, possibly on the road with people where it feels like an old experience for them.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to find a way to keep the excitement for yourself without feeling like you need to match their energy of this is, still just the job. And that's got to be an interesting place to be when you're also looking back at your 15-year-old self being like, dude, I'm on stage. I'm doing it. This is exciting. And it's so easy for somebody in the crowd to be like, oh, that person is on stage, like not see the amount of effort that it took in order to just get to that position in the first place.
Took so much work.
Do you feel like the work got easier as you started learning more about yourself throughout it, like learning your style, learning your process, learning what you're comfortable with doing on social media and on stage? Or do you feel like you're still in this process of like building the identity?
That's a good question. Yeah, like a little bit of both. I feel like I'm getting closer to something, but I'm still streamlining and still like, I don't know what the word is. Like, yeah, building I'm still trying to figure, I don't know. I'm getting closer to something that's like really clear and streamlined and like compartmentalized or whatever the word is. Wait, what was your question? What did you say?
I don't know. It was, I guess.
Do things get easier as I?
Yeah. Do things get easier? And do you feel like where you're at right now is kind of the point that you've been building towards? Or do you feel like like there's a lot of incremental changes that are happening still in real time? Like I feel like somebody like Fiddlar, their understanding is that they're going on tour and they're probably doing something very similar to the last 5 tours because it is so consistent. And for you, you're still building up to this point of what the peak looks like. And hopefully there's a long process before you get there because that's the exciting part.
Yeah.
But like last time I was with you, we were talking about how to get there. Now we're talking from the perspective of you're there and you're in the process. You're doing it.
Yeah.
You're not just looking to get there, but you're actually in the fucking loop right now.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's just as exciting as you hoped for?
Yeah. Life is awesome right now. Like it's fucking awesome. Like all I have to do, like, I mean, getting signed first was just the best fucking thing ever. Like just from the standpoint of like, here's some money, like go stop working your job, just go focus on music, just to be able to just wake up and be like, all right, how am I going to serve Sugar Pit today? Like, what am I going to do to bring this another step? It's just every day I wake up and I'm like, what's next? Like, how can I keep building? And just having the freedom and the time and the resources to do that every day is just like, it's my fucking dream.
Yeah.
I'm living my dream every day. It's like, and I feel so blessed. It's so cool, man.
It's so cool to hear because I have like these few core guests I've had on the podcast, and luckily some of them, like yourself, have become friends as well, where your name comes up a lot on multiple podcasts because I have these core people that I think are really good lighthouses for new artists to kind of head towards, and the idea of what creativity looks like, what enjoying the job looks like,
yeah,
and what, like, you're the ultimate representation of self, of like I told you, I think we talked about this once. My brother texted me once. He goes, does he actually just eat beans in his car? Does he actually make things on his stove and then eat it right out of the, like, and I'm like, yes, like that's 100% the real person. That's so many people would build you as a character that they wish they could be in real life. But so much of what is Sugar Pit is actually you. And it's just this wild fucking thing to see. And I think I've been thinking a lot about why this podcast. I used to be a producer, I used to be a musician, and there was an artistry behind it. And I think now that I'm a podcaster, if you will, which is gross to say, there's less artistry and it's more of just curiosity. And I get to bring on people that I'm curious about. But getting to watch this whole process throughout the past few years of Sugar Pit and who is Sugar Pit and building Sugar Pit. Like most people aren't going on stage for the first time with a band and bringing 2 backup singers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been I've been doing this for a long time, and like everything is so cumulative, and that like I wouldn't have been able to go on this tour and like have backup singers and have this like kind of like orchestrated thing and like do all this theatrics if I wasn't like, performing for years before this. And like all of it takes more experience from before to be able to do it. So, I mean, yeah, like I've been doing Sugar Pit since I was like 15, 16 in Illinois. And yeah, I just care about it so much, and it's my whole fucking life, and yeah, I don't know.
Do you feel like as you've found more success and you're starting to head the direction that you've always dreamed of, some of the obsessions that got you here, like the obsession with sitting down and learning guitar to an extent that makes it feel like pure freedom? Do you think you have the same amount of time to have these other obsessions, or do you think now you're spending a lot of your time building the artistry and the brand and stuff like that, and it takes away from the practice that got you here in the first place?
I don't know. I think my interests are kind of just a revolving door, and I'm always trying to just do something that serves the project in some way or another, whether it's like learning guitar. No, I still do shit like that. I still will like learn songs on guitar and like learn drum beats, and just like I did in high school. Like, there's just a core. I have a core just interest. I just love playing music and just making it, and I love playing drums and I love playing guitar and but I think more so I'm just like trying to supplement, just trying to broaden the scope even more, and just like supplement, like that's at the core of what I do, is just like I love writing songs and stuff. But
yeah,
as I get more efficient and just more just better at that, then it kind of opens up headspace to just expand. Like I've never really been into movies, but now I'm kind of getting to a point where like some of these music videos that I have in mind, like I'm starting to get into movies now so that I can make, like more cinematic music videos. And like I'm getting more, like I just bought this like book on like corporate graphic design, like corporate logos, like just getting into shit like that, like how just thinking of ways I can like brand more specifically and like make things more cinematic, or just level up. I don't know. I don't even really know what question I was answering.
I mean, I think that answers the question perfectly, which is kind of what I was asking is, do you feel like as the more successful you get, you have to spread yourself a little thinner in what got you here in the first place? Because like I remember times where I'd FaceTime you or see on your stories where you'd be making a song and I'm like, oh, those drums sound crazy, and I look and you just have one overhead mic in your bedroom.
Yeah, totally.
And now maybe you have some money behind it too. Do you is the process still look
the
like
same
that?
setup? Still just it got that same one mic over the Aston Spirit over top of the, like. I'll eventually get some more microphones and shit, but I don't know. I try and just not get too wrapped up in the details with shit like that.
Yeah. No,
Like-
I think that's cool.
Like, just keep it try and keep things as simple, and just the closer I can keep it to the way that I did it in high school, you know, the better I feel like.
Absolutely.
So, but do I have to spread myself thin? I don't know. I think there's seasons and everything. Like, before I left for tour, I was just writing and just writing, doing nothing but fucking writing, just waking up and write, and I write and I write, and just not really focusing on anything else. And then, you know, you get to a spot where you send it off to mixing, and the mixes come back, and then you've got some time to make some content, and you do that for a couple weeks, and I get back from tour, and, you know, the album's out, so I've got a second to chill, but the content's already shot, so I can just your Zin ran away.
Yeah. It keeps falling.
So yeah, like right now, I'm just kind of like planning for the next. I've got another album that I wrote like before I left for tour that's like going to be ready to go next, and so
Wow.
I'm just kind of just kind of figuring out like I don't know, is there a character I can play for the next album? Like, what's the typeface going to look like? Like, what's the world going to be like? Like, kind of, I'm even thinking just like, what's the listening party? Like, where am I going to do that? And like, just like right now, I've got a second to step away. Like with this album that just came out, the one that I just put out, Shh, Don't Jinx It. Like, a lot of those songs were being written as I was putting them out. And it was like I was kind of scrapping it together at the last second. Like that last song on the album called Back to the Start, I started like a week before the album was due. And I finished the song in 3 days. It got mixed in 2 days, and then it got turned in right at the last second. And so everything was, I didn't have time to like set everything up. But now with this second album that I'm about to put out, hopefully in like, I don't know, May or June of next year, it's going to be called Freaking Out Indoors, I think. With this next album, I've got a second, like the album is done, so I can step away and I can just, you know, look at everything as a whole and be like build a world around it, like just having everything done, and just take my time to like set everything up,
Yeah.
and then put it out into the world instead of running and gunning like I did with this album.
It's cool to hear because I've talked to so many people where the second some idea of success or idea of getting closer to what your goals were, you know, comes to fruition, they lose the reason that or the idea of what it looked like while they were getting there in the first place.
Mm.
And people forget that just because you didn't have as many options, or you didn't have as many microphones or musicians to play on it, like it worked.
Yeah.
It got you there in the first place. And I look at you as this person who never let in any lack of take advantage of the artistry. There was always everything you needed was always there, whether you had everything you needed or not.
Yeah, totally.
And whether that was sitting in front of a gas station and doing your video, that most people would be like, oh, I need a big set. And you're like, no, I don't need a fucking big set. I need a gas station. And the video went crazy.
Yeah.
And like it was just this really cool, I don't know. I guess I'm going off this based on my ego, but I use a lot of what I learned from people on this podcast to go through the little file cabinet in my brain and decide who do I want to be, who am I at the moment, and what parts of it need to go, what parts of it do I need to work on and add to, and to really get to the place where I am always proud of who I am and proud of my art or lack thereof. And you've been a super inspiring lighthouse for me to kind of go towards, because you've always had a really incredible sense of self that has been super helpful for me. And I've had people reach out from our podcasts or, you know, fans letting me know something very similar that they got from you. And it's just cool to hear that you getting money behind it and getting signed and getting these cool tours doesn't take away the sugar pit that got you there in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's just cool to see. And some of these podcasts are more interview style. This one is just me being completely interested and curious and having the same conversation I think we'd have if we were sitting on the couch without microphones and a camera.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, thanks for saying all that, man. That's really nice.
Of course. And seeing the people you had on your tours, super cool too, because like seeing Noah behind there on the drums.
Shout out my live band. Shout out Noah Dunn.
That kid is not only fucking an animal in the gym, but he is so sick on the kit and is such an inspiring part of watching you play as well, because you guys have this cohesion as friends as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's, one of the biggest parts is just, we have such a rapport. I mean, everyone in the band, but like me and Noah, like I met Noah back in Philly, and he played with some of my first Sugar Pit shows. That's like circa 2018. I bet he probably played some shows with me on drums, and Noah also moved. We moved out here sort of together at the same time. We were roommates when we first moved out here, and I don't know, he kind of like took the ride with me a little bit, and like helped me, put together the live band when we first moved out here, and just someone to bounce content ideas off of, and yeah. So shout out Noah Dunn, and shout out everyone in the live band. Shout out Colton.
Colton's an animal.
He's amazing.
He's such a monster on the bass. It's ridiculous.
He's incredible. He's just such a creative bass player, and just a really solid, like calm, level-headed vibe.
Yeah.
To have on the tour bus. And shout out Jake Nuffer, just such an amazing guitarist in the band. He's like just such an amazing fit, and awesome guy as well. Just everyone too. I feel like obviously they're all just such incredible musicians, and just like and also like Jake's a producer. Like he's an amazing producer, and I love his solo project Nuffer, and that really plays into him being such an amazing guitar player in the live band. Is like just thinking about just adding little moments and adding color and flavor and weird pedal glitches and just creative texture stuff like that. That like it's like it has so much to do with taste and less about musicality. Even though he's an incredible guitar, he went to jazz school in New York and shit, he's an awesome jazz guitar player, but he just has taste in the textures and tones that he plays live with. So
yeah, I feel like knowing how to play for the song and not for yourself.
Yeah.
As the band is not only imperative, but it makes the show.
Yeah.
And you're really good at that in the sense of you went to Berkeley, correct?
No.
You didn't?
No, I went to this school called Drexel in Philly. I did.
No, Drexel.
Yeah, I did audio engineering there.
Whoa, okay. That changes things. Not really, but yeah. So then I want to go back for a second, because I don't think I've asked you about this. Then where did the inspiration for learning guitar to the extent that you have come in? How old were you when you started?
I'm definitely not a bad guitar player, but I'm not crazy or anything.
But you're a creative guitar player.
Yeah, well, I'm creative.
Fair enough.
But I'm not that good of a guitar player, like, just all things said. Yeah, I don't know. I took a few lessons. I took a few lessons like in high school. Well, I started on drums when I was like 10. My mom was dating a guy who owned a recording studio. When I was like maybe 10, 11 or something. And so like I was like, I don't know, I got to fuck around on the drum kit in the recording studio and kind of like, I don't know, fuck around in that vibe. And I started, my mom hooked me up with a drum teacher that like knew the boyfriend kind of thing, whatever. So I started taking drum lessons when I was like 10, 11. And that was my first instrument. And then when I was like 14, 15, I started learning guitar, took a few lessons, but mostly just YouTube, like learning Nirvana songs and learning like, just like, like Ty Segall. I don't know if you know Ty Segall, like just garage rock, punk, easy riff type of shit is what got me into playing guitar. And I think I got better at guitar when I got dumped in college, and I was so sad, and I couldn't do anything else, and I just decided to like just practice guitar every day for like 5 hours, and that that like couple month period helped me on guitar a lot.
Yeah, you want to be that. It's like the.
It's like when guys go to the gym after they get dumped or something.
Oh, I know that feeling. Yeah, I lost a lot of weight recently.
yeah.
I lost
Yeah,
a lot of weight.
That shit sucks.
And then Chloe was on tour with you too, right?
Yeah. Shout out Chloe and also Dre Vias were the two backup singers. And
What made you feel like backup singers on your first real tour were even possible? I feel like most people wouldn't even ask for it.
I just what I'm trying to rip off is the Talking Heads performance Stop Making Sense. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's the one where he's wearing the big suit, and that performance just gets me so fucking lit. Like I just so it's like the blueprint for me. Like so anyway, but like that concert starts, he walks in by himself and he plays the first song just by himself, and then the next song like the bassist comes in, and the next song the guitarist comes in, and by the middle of the show he's got two backup singers, a guitarist, a bass player, an aux percussionist, a synth guy doing weird synth sound effects, and it's just the stage is so alive and so just everybody's dancing, everybody's on 10, and it's this big like it's like a commune on stage. Like it's not just a band, it's like a whole fucking organism ecosystem thing on stage that's like it's just so it just gets me so lit. And so anyway, so that's kind of where the inspiration for the backup singers come in. And we played a couple shows and it just elevates it so much. Like just the choreography and the dancing and having them on cowbells and shakers, it just adds so much sonically and visually, and both Chloe and Jay they're just like amazing in their own right. I mean, amazing dancers, amazing singers. And
Yeah, I remember when I first saw you with Chloe, and I knew her prior because I used to rent my drums to her when she was like doing these shows with her husband, right? Is her husband now?
I don't know. She was putting on a lot of shows. Yeah.
So she was putting on shows, and I was renting my drums, and they were like at skate parks and stuff. So I got to meet her, and that was through my buddy. I believe it was through my buddy Jake Renee, who's a shout out Jake, good dude. And I just remember seeing her for the first time. I was like, this feels like a rock star.
Yeah,
like she's just got this energy. She was climbing light poles and
yeah,
just a fucking crazy motherfucker, and such a unique, really cool way to see, because I feel like
she's
as a kid,
card.
big time. And as a kid who moved out here from the Midwest and vice versa, most of your representation of what a rock star is based on watching the Talking Heads or watching these people on these platforms where it's 30, 40 years later sometimes. And then you come here and you meet these people and you're like, oh, people like that actually exist.
Yeah.
Like there is
They've
that
got
raw
there's
energy.
an X factor.
Yes. Yeah. And she has it 100%, whether it was her jumping on a skateboard and doing something that, whether she knew how to do it or not, she was going to try it.
Totally.
Or jumping on any instrument, or just, I don't know. She's just a crazy motherfucker, but I felt like it was so real.
Yeah, that's really her for sure. And she also just has a really good attitude of just, I don't know, just not overthinking shit and just keeping things moving, and, just being yourself and not being sorry about it. And yeah, she's a cool vibe.
Is there ever part of you that catches yourself kind of moving towards trends or moving towards what is culturally cool, if you will? Because I feel like we live in this weird time where so much of what is relevance is based on culture and lack thereof culture. And I feel like you've kind of, from my perspective, you strayed heavily away from it. Do you ever find yourself seeing a video and being like, oh, that would be an easy version of some virality, or that would be a great way to get people involved because somebody else has done it before?
Yeah. Nah, I mean, I don't know. I rip shit off. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say when you got your own head up your fucking ass like I do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's the other thing of like, I feel like sometimes like I'm just fucking kind of smelling my own farts like with the solo project. Like I have it. Like when I'm just like alone in my room, like I don't know.
So do you ever watch a video and catch yourself and have to like talk yourself down from doing what you know might work just because you've seen it work?
I don't know. I mean, what do you mean? Like with like with like content? Like
Content, or even like you're talking about the talking heads and like you saw something that was super inspiring. Like how do you go about that and be like, I want to do what they're doing, but I want to make it Sugar Pit?
I think it's like just kind of a process like of it takes time. You got to just start doing it, and sometimes the rip off is kind of clear at first, and then just the more you do it, the more you can integrate yourself into it.
Hmm.
Like in some ways, like I kind of like there's some songs on the album like Magic. I like was one of the first times I'd written with a like a 4 on the floor drum beat,
Mhm.
like a dance drum beat, because I was just trying to rip off like an LCD sound system song
Oh,
and
sick.
just kind of be like what could my version of an LCD sound system song be like, and that was one of the first times I tried it, and I feel like the influence on that song is like very like it's like sounds like an LCD sound system song a little bit, or a lot. I don't so, but I feel like as I kept just trying out that style, I found my own ways to make it more myself.
Yeah.
Talking more about like this second album that I have coming up, like
Okay, sick.
this second, and also sort of on that note, like I feel in a way I almost feel like the more of a platform I get, the more freedom it gives me to get weirder. Like
Mm.
it'll make more sense once you hear this other album, Brad. It's like
Yeah, I'm looking to hear it.
super weird. I was kind of like in a bad spot mentally of just like I don't know, like isolating myself and working all the time and just scrolling on my phone a lot and just like putting pressure on myself, and it was just kind of like and so the songs just kind of reflected like a lot of like pent up stress or anger. Just I don't know, they're really kind of freaky.
Oh, I'm excited to hear these.
They're kind of some of them are like kind of hard to listen to, like because when I was writing them I wasn't even really thinking about releasing them. I was literally just trying to get just this shit off my chest kind of thing, and so listening back kind of makes me cringe a little bit. I'm like,
I mean, that answers it's 75% of my questions. And I don't think I asked everything correctly, but so much of what I was curious about is this still as much of an art for you? And less of an art, I should say, and more of a form of mental help, in the way that I felt like you talked about it last time, where it was so helpful for you and for you. And it sounds like the way you're speaking about your new album, it absolutely still is. And it's this diary, for lack of better terms, that helps you kind of go through your thought processes and get out some of the demons that maybe were not allowing you to write the next album that's coming after this, that maybe is more happy or more this or more that.
yeah.
So you feel like you're still in that place, or do you feel like writing this album helped you kind of climb your way out of some of the holes?
I don't know. I mean, I think just it's by just my music is. I don't know. I've always feel like I just want people to, I don't know, like understand me or something. Like I feel like a lot of my music is just like perceive me, like hear me. Like does anyone hear me? kind of thing, and it's just like a thing that I really feel deeply. So yeah, I don't know. I just trying to express myself, and like another thing I've been thinking about lately too is just like like music, like the making of music serves me in the sense that it's something that like I need to do and like need to get out, but like also like what is like my place in society. Like, you know what I mean? Like what is, how am I, what am I, how, who am I serving other than myself, like by making this music, like, and just like something I've kind of been theorizing about in my head is just kind of like, if you want to be, if you, as an artist, if you want to be like useful to society and like really contribute in a meaningful way to music and to culture and like relate to other people's lives and give them something that they can relate to, like you have to. The only way you can do that is by being yourself, and it's like not easy to be yourself. Like it's not like self-explanatory. Like, oh, like be authentic or something. But that's like just something that I'm always trying to like just strip back and just. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if you to really contribute in a meaningful way as an artist, you have to. The only thing you contribute is yourself. That's the best thing that you have to offer because no one else can offer that. And so, just like, how do you get super clear and pointed and directed, and only be yourself and be as much as yourself as you can, and be authentic as you can in a way that no one else can. Like, I don't know, like some of my least favorite songs are like songs that I'm like, like, you know, like someone else could do that. Like, even if it's a good song, it's like, okay, like. Great, like it's a banger. Everybody can make a fucking banger. You know what I mean? But like my favorite songs are just ones where I'm like, I know nobody has that perspective, or like I know no one can give that vocal performance, and like that's where I feel like I'm like really serving my place in just like in the world.
Man, that's so helpful. Fuck, that's really helpful. I've been trying to find, so I stopped making music for myself. I still make it, but it's not something I plan on doing. I'm not putting the effort in that I know it takes in order to make it a living anymore. And I've been struggling with this idea of where is my place now? How do I was an artist, for lack of better terms, for so long that I always had this platform, this outlet that felt like it was egoless, but also incredibly self-serving in a really helpful way. I had this place to write down my thoughts and get them out to the world and be held accountable for them. And since I've decided that this is my way of serving the community and the world the best that I can in a way that I can go to bed proud of myself, right, there also comes this lack of expression sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't know sometimes if I'm speaking based out of self-interest or if I'm speaking based out of how to give a proper platform to the person who's on with me, even though I'd be having these same conversations and asking you the same questions if we were smoking a joint sitting on the couch.
Right.
And hearing that you feel the best way to serve your community and your in the world and find your place in it is just offering the self that nobody else can give is a really cool thing to hear. And I feel like there's probably some kids out there who are sitting in middle school or high school or wherever they are, or somebody who's older that's ready to quit their job and try to make this a reality, to understand that they have something that nobody else can offer. And that's the best thing that you can possibly give.
And sometimes it's not even something that you really want to give either. Like sometimes the best thing about you is like embarrassing stuff that you don't want to say, or like you probably watch Kill Tony sometimes, and like sometimes like he'll really dig in on the guests and like try and get them to like tell a secret about themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like people don't want to admit that they're like, you know, I don't know, doing some weird shit, or like, you know, they've got some weird kink, or they did something bad or something. But like once you like, but nobody wants to admit that shit. So it's like when you do and you put that out there, other people will relate. And you have to like, I don't know, sometimes you have to embarrass yourself too. I don't know. Everybody's like a loser, you know what I mean? It like everybody's like thinks that they're like not as cool as someone else, and everybody's like trying to act cool or convince themselves that they're cool, or I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense. And it's funny because you always wonder if other people are if there's anybody else out there that's going to connect with the thing that you feel so, self-fulfilling and unique.
Yeah. And the answer is like almost always yes. Like if you, no matter what weird thought you have, or there's someone else who's having the exact same thought. And I just feel like you'd be so surprised.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Have you had people come up to you after shows that you would never expect and let you know that they found like some connection to it or something? Like obviously there's going to be people that come up and you're like, oh, of course you're going to be a Sugar Fit fan. You fit so many of the checklist. But did you have like some grown ass man or woman or something like come up to you and like after you're just like, wow, I did not expect that that's the person I would have won over in the room?
Yeah. There was really broad. I feel like really broad. Like there was this dude who I played in Nashville, and there was this dude who took a flight from St. Louis, like a 3-hour flight to St. Louis, and he brought his daughter and I think his daughter's boyfriend too, but like took a flight to come see it, and like he's like a 50-year-old man or something, and
he came to see you.
Yeah, just for me, and he was like, wow, so stoked. I was like, wow, cool.
That's fucking crazy. And just 2 more questions before we wrap this up.
Yeah,
One,
I could go all night with you.
We can keep going. One that's completely random and self-interest oriented. Yeah. Did you ever end up moving into that random loft in downtown?
the one with the
in Fashion District or whatever.
Oh, dude, that was a fucking nightmare. No.
Thank God. Thank fucking God, dude.
It was in Santee Alley. It was like above like a bulk fabric shop in Santee Alley. Like I went in and they're like, "Oh, this is where you usually enter, but there was a hit and run and a car crashed in here, but don't worry, just come out this other door." I was like, "Okay." And then we walk up there and it's like just this huge empty office space. It was like that really old blue carpet, like that would be in like a
school,
like an old schoolroom.
Yeah.
And one half of the room was piled literally up to the ceiling with just like fabric,
I saw just like
bulk fabric, like and like just like random shit, and I'm like, it's just like the empty half of a storage space, and there was like one. The window was literally like that. There was one window that was like 2 feet by 3 feet, like casting the most depressing, like tiny little ray of sun into this stinky, dark, carpeted room. And I looked around. I was like, "So where's like
the bathroom?
Where's the bathroom?" He's like, "Just sign the lease and I'll build one." He's like, "Don't worry. I'll just sign the lease. I'll build one." So I don't know what he was thinking. Like there would be like a toilet just in the far corner. Maybe I'll send you the video. You could overlay it on this podcast.
Yeah, let's do it. I remember watching on your story 10 times over and be like, this fucker really means it. He's really diving into the bit. This is as fucking beans in your truck as it gets.
No, I'm out. I got a nice little spot in Boyle Heights. I just got a bed frame. Literally 3 days ago, I just got a bed frame.
How long have you been there?
Since May or so.
And you just got a bed frame?
Since I moved to LA, I haven't had a bed frame. So for almost 2.5 years. But I'm on it now. I'm coming up.
Growing up, man.
I'm growing up.
Really coming into yourself. Do you want this?
Grew up so fast.
That's so fucking funny. I remember watching that and just fucking laughing my ass off. I feel like if people just could go through only your stories with no audio, it's like a TV show. It's like a sitcom. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And lastly, I just had, I think I hit you up about it. I don't I don't know, I did a bad job of it. But I had this artist listening party thing. I called it This Is a Listening Party because it just kind of fit with the title.
Nice.
And pretty much what I did, and I'm sorry if you've heard this 15 times by now, but what I did is I had a bunch of artists of all statures come over. We sat in this room. We sat over there. There was no cameras, no nothing. Asked to not be on your phone. And people were sharing music that's either unreleased or unfinished. And some of these people are artists with hundreds of thousands of followers, if not more, and have played stadiums and crazy fucking venues. And then some people have made music for 6 months. And it was like the great equalizer, because the only thing that you could base your idea of them off of, because most people didn't know each other, was the song. I had them play the song first before saying a word outside of their name.
Oh.
So then I would ask them a few questions. First one was, where are you from? How long you been making music? And your name. I think that's what it was. And the second one was, how do you feel like collaboration could help you expand on your art? And you'd see people's jaw drops when somebody plays a song and then they're like, oh yeah, I've been making music for 5 months. Specifically this girl, Nicolina, who's a good friend and is just a fucking total badass. But it was this really cool opportunity to see what stature means completely dropped. And you were just basing your idea of this person off their music. There was no numbers, no nothing. But I felt like the question about collaboration was super interesting to hear people's answers, because I know a lot of those people in the room spend most of their time in a room by themselves. And most of what I've seen of your music from the visual aspect is you in your bedroom by yourself making the songs.
So much, dude.
So I wanted to ask you the question, and I'm just so curious on your answer. How do you feel like working with some collaborators could help you expand on your art, if at all?
Not interested. I don't want to work with anybody. I don't know. I've thought about it. It could change for sure. I could see it. I don't know, man. I mean, right now I'm more interested in collaborating like with like visual stuff and just like branding stuff and videos and stuff, just because I know other people can add so much more to it that I just don't know how to do. But I feel like specifically with music, like it's just been such like this delicate little ecosystem that I'm kind of just been building since I was in high school, and it's always been me. And I don't really want to fuck with the process. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something like, even if, you know, I mean, I definitely don't want to go record in a studio. Like, that's one thing I don't want to do. I don't want session musicians. Like, even if they could play it better, or, you know, a studio could make it sound better. Like, I don't want that, you know, like I want it to sound like me. Like, I want it to sound like purely just like how I sound, and like the little like imperfections, you know, like I'm not great. I'm not like a great drummer or anything, but like those little imperfections is like, I don't know, like what makes it Sugar Pit. And so, but I don't know. I could see, you know, like working with the right person that like, they add the right kind of thing that, you know, I don't know. I'm just so accustomed to doing it by myself.
At what point do you think being too precious about the process is going to take away from the fun that you could be having in the room with other people?
I think it's just going to get to a point where where I get sick of being in a room by myself.
You're not there yet.
And I'm not there yet.
Okay, that makes sense. And I heard a lot of people's answer to that question was, I've sat in front of a screen for so many years by myself that I need to be with other people.
Yeah.
Even if I don't need them to be there, I need the energy, I need the people, I need the experience of just not sitting by myself for so long. But it sounds like that also came out of so much time of being alone. And if you don't feel that yet, then that makes total sense of why you wouldn't necessarily want to look for collaborators yet. Maybe there's a lot more music that still has to be made by you sitting in your room eating your fucking beans.
Yeah, I think I just unfortunately have to like really burn myself out on doing it alone until I get to a point where I'm like, I don't know. We'll see.
No, it's cool to hear.
You know, words are just words. I don't know. I could change my mind next week, so we'll see.
Enough. Well, I'm super fucking appreciative, first of all, that you came on.
So glad. Thank you for having me, Brett.
And
it's awesome.
We can anytime you want to do one of these, you got an open invite.
Cool.
These are always super self-appreciated, obviously by the fans as well, and all the fans fucking my mom watching. But I always get a lot out of them in talking to you, whether it's sitting here or sitting at the jam at my house back in the day or whatever it is. So I really appreciate that. And I'm getting to listen to all the music and all. I don't know. There's specific artists. What I was talking about earlier with the trying to find the art in it is I've had a lot of people tell me I'm too nice and I'm not pushing back enough and I'm not this and that.
Like, what do you mean? Like with what?
Like with the podcast. And
like with the interviews and stuff?
And they're like, oh, you're just fucking riding that dude or whatever it is. Like it feels very fake. But the reason I do this isn't because I'm some successful musician and I know the answers. It's not because I'm some person who's found success touring the world their whole life and doing all these things. It's because I'm somebody who's genuinely a fan of being a fan of people.
Yeah.
I love finding an artist. I hit you up completely unknowing who the fuck you were outside of the fact that I loved your music.
Yeah, cool.
And it happened to, have the connection through Stone and all these other people.
Yeah.
But getting to sit down and talk with you always gives me this idea that the second I start listening to other people's advice on who I should be on my podcast or in my art or whatever it is the moment that it's no longer mine. And it's just nice to know. It's nice to hear. It's nice to get that reassurance every time I've had you on and every time we talk that the best thing you can offer the world, and you said this earlier, and we'll send you the clip, of course.
Yeah.
The best thing you can offer yourself or offer the world is yourself because you're the only person who can fucking do that.
Yeah, I think just like trusting yourself. Unwaveringly is like, I feel like sometimes people deviate, like people stop being themselves sometimes when they start thinking like, oh, like it's going to come across a certain way, or like, nobody's going to get it, or, or well, this person did it different and they're popular. So why, maybe I'll try and do it like that or some shit like that. But I think just trusting in yourself and trusting that your tastes are cool and that you have something to say and yeah, be your fucking self, and that's that.
We'll send it there, man. I appreciate you coming on. Fucking stoked on the album. It's so sick.
Thanks,
dude.
man. I appreciate you just let me come on here and yap about myself for
Always.
an hour.
Again, open invite whenever you want. It was sick watching all the videos of you on tour, and if you haven't seen it, go watch the videos and just look at his feed, and you'll be scrolling for a while. It's fun. It's fun as fuck.
Hell yeah.
He ran on stage. We were just only in your boxers.
Tidy whities, baby.
That's what I'm. Not even boxers. We're going tidy whities, motherfucker. I love that. It was sick to watch, and the success is well deserved, and I'm excited to see you keep growing and fucking just enjoying it. Just keep sharing with everybody else, all the fans of you, the videos of the process, because that's been a really, really integral part, I think, of people getting to know you outside of just the few words that they can listen to over and over again on the music.
Totally.
So appreciate you, dude, as always.
Thank you, Brad.
It was nice getting a little stoned, a little drunk with you. So
cool, man.
We'll do this again soon. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Griffin, back there. We'll see you guys next week. And to everybody listening,
I'm Sugar Pit, and this is an experiment.
Yes, it is. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.